NartOutHere showing how NAF plays B Rotate on Overpass CT Side. NAF holds an astonishing 1.18 HLTV rating on Overpass in 2021. Now, playing the B Rotator position can be tricky due to the fact that you will need to know when to rotate, otherwise the wrong rotates and timings can cause your team to round. I will show you the protocols Team Liquid has in place when NAF stays at B and when he needs to rotate to A. During the process of explaining this, I will also show you the utility NAF uses and some setups that him and his teammates have. But before I do that, here's a word from my sponsor, GGPredict.
If you play CSGO, you gotta try ggpredict.io. It's a training platform to analyze and better understand how you play and what mistakes you make during your Counterstrike matches. Then effectively train those aspects that need improvement. You can use it to improve literally every aspect of your game: team play, nades, pace of your game, or your aim. It not only analyzes your game in so many aspects, but also lets you train on the platform thanks to personalized training plans. How? GGPredict's AI knows exactly what you need to do to become a better player. Each week, you automatically get tailor-made trainings made by the best CSGO athletes who work with GGPredict. It's easy and fun, and you can train right on GGP servers and get all the data from your trainings analyzed. Simply connect your Steam, Faceit, or eSportal account and get your matches instantly analyzed by GGPredict. We almost forgot, if you're playing just for fun, that's great too. You'll love our social features, which allow you to compare with your friends and finally check who really is carrying the team.
First thing you need to know as the B Rotator is that you'll be the player smoking monster at the start of the round 90% of the time. Why? Because your 4 teammates need their smokes more than you do. Smoking monster at the start of the round delays a couple of seconds to get to your respective positions. As a B rotate, getting to B a couple of seconds late won't affect you as it would for the other positions. To throw the smoke, get behind the dumpster, crouch, aim at the end of this pole, then jump throw. Benefits of smoking monster early on is that it enables your B teammates to cross over to the wall without being spotted, as well as punishing the enemy if they choose to decide to push through the smoke. Smoking monster is done majority of the rounds. When it is not, that is because Team Liquid are going for more of an aggressive play monster, or they'll just delay their smokes a bit to take more time off the clock. NAF, Grim, or Stu, the B players, don't smoke B at the start of the round because they know VP plays super slow. They plan on holding their smokes to use later on into the round to punish VP if they try to come through the monster smoke. The position B rotate, your main concern is B site first. The rotate comes in second if need be. What I mean by this is you need to first focus on the B site for any early rushes or fast plays. This is the first priority when it comes to B. The B rotate usually plays towards graffiti and around the walkway area. When the rush comes in, you can support with your utility, but at the same time, you don't want to get caught throwing it. NAF mollied short and threw monster flash for his teammate, then smoked off monster. Your main concern when it comes to rushes and fast plays is watching short and not allowing anyone to rush up bridge. Your 2 B teammates will deal with monster. We see Heroic here do a fast play coming through connector out into water. NAF blew the door open early on and spams wood, doing decent damage onto refresh. He sees the heaven smoke from outside monster and plays anti-flash, jiggle peeking, then peeks and kills Shush coming out from short. He doesn't see anyone else short and Grim died, but Stewie is in pit. NAF will swing and kills Tessis, then falls us down. Liquid will go on to win this round. Moving forward from rushes and fast plays, another signal for NAF to stay at B is when the enemy team is on eco. The reason behind this is it is much easier for T's to get in your face with pistols, as well as the many options you have as a T for utility to help you get you onto the B site versus going towards A where there's so much longer range, heavily favoring the CTs with their rifles and off. Here, Heroic are on eco, split B, triple nade the boost, and setting 2 players to rush up short while the other 3 monster and it gets shut down by Liquid. You see early on NAF doesn't come out balcony on heaven because just in case Heroic bought a scout and do the 4-player fast boost, he'll get picked off. This goes the same with buy rounds and it ties back in with smoking off monster at the start of the round, which would delay his position. Another indicator that NAF should stay B and not rotate to A is whenever one of his B teammates die. After smoking monster, NAF always buys another piece of utility before getting to B. Make sure you do that if you have money. NAF loves to spam this bottom right corner of the wood to do damage to any T's pushing through short pipe, which he does some onto Hampus. Hampus makes his way up short looking for a fight, and he finds it onto Stewie killing him. This prompts NAF to molly it off, and now he has to stay B with Grim. They're gonna fall into the most popular B passive setup, which is the 1-player graffiti holding left side walk up, while the other player pit watching towards short and bridge. Fast forward a little bit here where NIP come out monster. SC tag swings past the pillar and NAF kills him. however makes the mistake of swinging out to peek right of the pillar and gets killed by Device. He should have stayed in place here. Maybe had Grim took contact, then he could have swung out or even received a flash from falling when he rotates over. Here's another round where one of his teammates die and NAF will stay B. NAF smokes Monster, buys a flash, then heads to bridge where he boosts Stu. Stu doesn't spot anyone and they give up the boost. NAF was about to rotate to A because his teammates were in a double banana bathroom setup and no one was watching long. However, Grim dies and NAF cancels the rotate. NAF will jump spot water, doesn't see anyone and decides to nade short pipe. Meanwhile, Stu was jiggle peeking Monster from wood wall and he spots a player. NAF flashes Monster twice. This is the most important piece of utility you need to know as a B rotator outside of the Monster smoke. Since you're always towards the back around walkway, the most impactful way that you could have as your role is that you can support your teammates by flashing Monster. That flash helps Stewie get 2 kills and now they can fall back into the pit graffiti setup that you've seen in the last clip. Elish had rotated over and gave his smoke to NAF, who he passes on to Stu, the pit player. It's getting super late into the round and Stu will decide to throw a defensive smoke in case VP plan on coming out. Stu now can watch towards left pillar and this setup is now cancelled. VP smoke mid site, NAF makes his way into pit and Kicker saves. As you can see, NAF won't rotate to A if his B teammate dies. The next condition when NAF stays B is when the T's show water presence and his teammates A are okay, meaning they didn't die, they're able to watch long in bathroom, and that there's more presence towards B than A. Fallen smokes Monster here in this round when Liquid get into the setup where Grimace barrels jump spotting Monster. Stewie's pit with a defensive smoke ready. NAF nades short pipe after hearing it smoked out and does good damage onto the Entropic players alongside the wood spam. Entropic have water control and NAF is going to molly off the structure here, which will bounce into the cubby that is commonly held by the T's default B player. Stewie follows it up with a flash. Lackey is blind and he has no smoke to put it out and burns to his death. You usually throw this molly in a flash when you have one of your teammates push up short to flush out this position. He smokes Monster afterwards. Over towards A, there is not that much presence and both positions are covered with fallen sight jump spotting, and Elish was pushed long and he flanks and kills a player, meaning NAF doesn't have to rotate. At this point, Grim throws the last Monster smoke, around 40 seconds, which takes a lot of time off the clock. Entropic left in a 3v5 will come out into B one by one and get shut down. If NAF has the best B spawn, he will take it to rush water and peek short pipe off a flash from Stu, as well as Stu's mauling short pipe and nading door. NAF runs through the T short molly and he peeks short pipe not spying anyone. He will continue to hold water control. In this situation, Stewie will then become rotator. Reason why is commonly CTs blow up the door is because it puts a lot of pressure on the T's if they have the advanced connector. They can be spotted from multiple angles as well as they try to advance water. If somebody's in connector, they'll get spotted and possibly killed if they don't smoke it out, which then is a sign that the T's might have somebody in connector or water, which will help Elish a lot because he likes to play in connector. NAF kills Perfecto and falls back. There was a lot of presence towards A, so Stewie rotated. NAF will re-smoke Monster. I think he and Grim most likely falls into the graffiti pit setup. However, Navi advance A and Liquid will retake. Basically, I'm showing that NAF is pretty flexible as well as Team Liquid when it comes to the B rotating position. There will be rounds where NAF has the best mid spawn as well and is given the op to go peek mid. Let's look at some of the utility thrown at B. Here's Stewie mauling short pipe and flashing for NAF to peek short pipe in a different round. Sometimes NAF will be the one throwing the same nade set. Depends on who has the best spawn to rush short. The flash blinds refresh assisting the kill for NAF. In this round, NAF's throwing the same nade set that Stu threw in the previous round alongside a door nade. He's going to go for the short pipe wall bang afterwards, and then he hears connector smoked off, which alerts him that there could be a player connector, goes for the wall bang and kills Crad. As the B rotator who is commonly around this walkway position, these two wall bangs and spams are your best friends. As the B rotator, you'll often be using these two boosts to peek water. The one on the bridge is the uncommon one, which I showed earlier, and then the more common one is the sandbags boost. Both will provide you with a lot of information in water. Just be careful with the sandbag boost for the triple nades. Another piece of utility NAF throws is a Monster flash at the start of the round from heaven for Grim to peek Monster. He doesn't go out into the balcony to throw it in case of the 4-player boost. He will however check the boost after throwing the flash. In this round, NAF is going to throw a flash for outside Monster. Stewie and Grim will rush short pipe. NAF throws this as his teammates are inside short pipe. The flash will blind Kicker, assisting the kill for Stewie. Instead of rushing short pipe, Stu will peek monster with the same flash thrown by NAF, which blinds Katie and holding from outside monster, assisting the kill for him once more. This is when you wouldn't want to smoke monster at the start, like I stated at the beginning of the video. Since you're playing around this position, the best flash that you could throw without throwing a flash on the fly is the one next to the end of the wood wall. Aim at the middle of the letters on this wall straight ahead, then left click throw. This is a flash every pro team throws when their monster player takes contact or wants to peek monster. If NAF didn't smoke monster from CT at the start of the round, he will re-smoke monster from these two positions. The first one by boost, crouch, aim at this corner, then stand up and left click throw. The second monster smoke is from the end of this platform above pit, aim top between the windows, then left click throw. Both monster smokes I showed here were thrown by NAF earlier in the video. The last piece of utility on B site that NAF throws is a support flash that he throws up to mid to allow Elise to peek mid from connector. Those were the protocols for NAF to stay at B. Now we will be looking at the conditions of when NAF should be rotating to A. The two main signs are when an A player dies and when the A players are set up in positions that they're unable to watch a certain area, which will prompt NAF to rotate over once he secures that the enemy team isn't rushing B or any fast plays. There are other signs and indicators that I will cover as well. First, let's talk about an A player dying. Whenever an A teammate falls, this is one condition that will prompt to cause NAF to rotate over, especially with how aggressive Elise likes to play. Elise dies in connector this round and spotted multiple players. There was no fast play or rush towards B and not much presence. His boys were good on B, so this will allow him to rotate to A. Fallen was around the bathroom area and then he falls back to play more passive once Elise dies. NAF will rotate over to help out. However, Navi are going to end up towards B. Since Navi go B, NAF will be the first player to rotate to B from A, given if Fallen or Leash is still alive still. Not only is NAF the first player to rotate to A, he will also be the first player to rotate back to B if he had already rotated to A. You are rotating between the two sites depending on where you are needed. The next condition that causes NAF to rotate to A is when the A players are set up together either long or bathrooms and they can't watch the other position due to being in the same position and area. After making sure there's no rush or fast plays towards B, NAF rotates to A given that his teammates are playing around the same positions towards bathroom and con. No one is watching long, so NAF rotates in and watches long, and Tropic will split A and his two A teammates shut down the bathroom take, and they come and help him with the long defense. Now the criteria and protocol changes here. Had one of NAF's teammates B died early on, then NAF most likely stays at B and his teammates A most likely falls back to site or some type of setup where they can be able to watch bathroom and long. To add on about the A positions condition, Elise loves playing inside connector and it is hard to be able to watch connector and mid, especially if you're playing passive in connector. Fallen is not with him here as he was bathroom the previous clip. Fallen has an op towards long, so after making sure his teammates are okay at B, NAF rotates over to pick up bathrooms. The one utility that he likes to throw when rotating to A is this flash over the wall that pops towards mid that allows Elise to peek from inside connector. The main position that you're playing when rotating over to A is site, because it enables you to rotate back to B fast if need be, which happens here when Stewie dies. This prompts his A teammates to fall back to site as well. Heroic are going to end up going back to A and NAF will rotate in to help shut down Heroic's take. The next indicator that causes NAF to rotate to A is some type of fast play towards A, whether that be out fountain or up connector to mid. It happens here in this round with Entropic sending Nickel back out mid fast, however he gets killed by Fallen. NAF flashes over to support and he rotates to A. NAF will pick up long as his teammates are towards mid and he gets one kill before dying. Another circumstance when NAF rotates to A is based off presence. In this round against Pain, nothing was going on towards B, and Fallen is jump spotting from A while Elise is towards stairs. Fallen spots multiple players long and this causes NAF to rotate. Now they have 3 players in A to deal with Pain's A execute. NAF will pick up 2 kills before dying and his teammates clean up the rest. As the rotator, sometimes you will start towards A early on for a 3A setup, which happens here in this round with NAF picking up connector while Alicia's party and Fallen is bathrooms. We won't see the setup in play here as NIP go towards B. Last topic I want to discuss goes against the protocols and conditions that we talked about. You're going to see here Alicia's dead and Fallen is solo A. NAF stays at B. Why is that? Well, you can have your Opera A solo, safely jump spotting and or playing retake, as well as many positions on A that will allow you to do so. If teams know your tendency of rotations, you want to play mind games and sometimes stay B if teams know that you will rotate if an A player dies. To summarize, as a B rotator, your main focus first is B site. Make sure you defend the rushes and fast plays. If your B teammate dies and or heavy presence towards water, you'll stay B. You'll rotate to A if there's more presence there than B, if your A teammates are in positions and setups that doesn't allow them to watch a certain area, and or if one of the A player dies. NAF does a good job supporting both sites as a B rotator, which is part of the reason why Liquid have been doing very well on their Overpass CT sides. Let me know in the comments who you want to see next and or what maps and positions. Till next time, Nart out here, peace.